All right, welcome to the Cryptosphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you. Today is Wednesday. What is today? Wednesday, September 20th at 7:48 a.m. here in sunny California. Good to see each and every one of you here today. Good buddy of mine asked me to compare and contrast the strength of Ethereum versus XDC. And specifically, he wants kind of a short to midterm outlook, maybe for the next few weeks, which would be more advantageous to buy or to swap one for the other. So I am going to look at these charts now. This comparison, not quite sure how to do it, so we're going to do this live. Typically what you would do is you would just kind of look at, there would be like an ETH XDC chart. Like if I want to compare Bitcoin to XRP, I look at the XRP BTC chart. If I want to compare, actually, I wonder if there's an XDC. Okay, I think I might have done that backwards. Let's jump in here and see what we would find. First, you can still hear me, right? Yes. First thing I'm going to do is create a new layout here, and see if there's an XDC ETH chart. Yes, there is. Okay, that'll make our work a lot easier. I was thinking of all kinds of different things that we could do. All right, and I'm going to add RSI. And then I'm going to add smart money concepts. All right. And then what I'm going to do is create a dashboard here. So we got the weekly, then make this one the daily, and then make this one 4 hours. That way we kind of get a feel for the different time frames. All right, let's start with the weekly chart. The weekly XDC ETH chart. So this is XDC against Ethereum. So what this means is that if this number goes down, then XDC becomes cheaper against Ethereum. It means that Ethereum is outperforming XDC. If this number goes up, XDC becomes, its value in Ethereum is higher, which means XDC is outperforming Ethereum. All right, so it looks like we're forming a bull flag on the weekly chart. However, it also looks like we've more than topped out. Like this move here, where XDC outperformed Ethereum by 248%, 245% in this 1, 2, 3 week period. So in 3 weeks, XDC outperformed Ethereum by 245%. So the question is that outperformance going to continue? First data point, RSI way overbought, which would indicate the need for a correction. But we are in correction territory. The correction could be this breakdown here, the bottom of which was 42%. We gave 42% of that back. And you can see we've got the premium, equilibrium, and the discount. We broke beneath the equilibrium. If we throw a Fibonacci on here, we have a classic 618 retracement. And actually, we've broken down almost to the 0.5, about 60% of the way between the 618 and the 0.5. So that is a healthy correction. So this could be the correction. But if this is indeed a bull flag, then XDC is going to continue to outperform Ethereum. And we can even quantify to some degree the extent to which XDC is likely to outperform by another 30%. So if we break If we break bullish above this, I see at least a 30% pop on the weekly chart, which breaks us above the equilibrium, which means we're trying to test the premium. All right. So let's take a look at the daily chart and see if the daily chart gives us any other indications. All right, so on the daily chart, we're right at the equilibrium. And we have, okay, yeah, there's very little sell pressure here. But there's a lot more buy pressure down here. So when I look at this daily chart, what it looks like to me is the consolidation will continue here until all of these sell orders have been extinguished and all of these buy orders have been extinguished. And then it's going to come down here and pick up some of these buy orders, and then it can take off, and there's no resistance above it. That's what it looks like to me. However, when I look at the RSI suggests something different. I'm just doing this live, guys. I haven't looked at this before, so I'm just figuring this out just like you. So the RSI has retraced substantially. If you look at this low, let's look at this low here. All right, so watch this. From this low to this low was a lower low. From this low to this low was a higher low. That's classic bullish divergence. And sure enough, bam, we take off. Okay? Way overbought up here. This was the top of the RSI, and we make a lower high. However, from the corresponding high in the price to the corresponding high in the price, we make a higher high and a simultaneous lower high. So here we have bullish divergence. Here we have classic bearish divergence. Okay? And sure enough, we hit this premium area. We really established that premium area, and then we break down. And we break right down to the equilibrium, which is mean reversion theory. But if you look at the extent to which the RSI has recovered, the RSI is almost back to this level here, whereas the price has not even gone halfway back to that level here. Not even 50%. The RSI is about 90% of the way back to this to the level where it broke out. But the price is only about 47% at its bottom here. Now, when the RSI is moving faster than the price, either downward or upward, what that suggests to me is that the price is going to continue. Basically, when the RSI is moving down, liquidity is being created for the next move up. So while the price moves largely sideways, the RSI moves aggressively downward. That tells me that liquidity is being created for the next move up, which would suggest we're not going to fill these order blocks down here. We're going to consolidate in this area and take off. That's what this data point says to me. Now let's drill down into the 4-hour to see if we can even take this analysis to another level. Let's see what the 4-hour suggests. Okay. First thing I'm seeing on the 4 hours is that there's more sell pressure than I see on the daily. So in the shorter term, there's more sell pressure. In the shorter term, okay. Trend analysis. We've got a descending channel. Okay. Descending channel could actually be a classic bull flag, right? Here's the pole, and here's the flag. They like to break out bullish. And we can say like an 11% bump when we do break out, which puts us above all of this sell pressure. Getting up there is not going to be a straight line. It's not going to be easy because there is sell pressure here. Really, the question is there more sell pressure here than there is buy pressure here? Are we going to extinguish these buy orders before we extinguish these sell orders? Because if we absorb all of these buy orders and there's still sell orders here, we hit those sell orders and we break down and there's no support. So the trend is bullish, but when I look at the order blocks, it looks to me like there's more sell pressure than there is buy pressure. What is the RSI saying? RSI bottomed out here. We've got bullish divergence here. Bullish divergence in the RSI. We're making higher lows while we're making lower lows. Slight bit of hidden bearish divergence here, but this could have played out already. It looks negligible. The RSI and the trend look bullish to me. The RSI and the trend suggest we're going to break out of here and break above this resistance. All right, so let's put all this together and let's see what we can come up with. Putting all this together, going back to the daily chart, there is a possibility, given all the money waiting down here, that XDC will break down against Ethereum in the short term and revisit this area and then take off. Okay? There is a chance. However, the sell block, the order blocks suggest a breakdown, honestly. What is this area? That would take us all the way back down to the discount. All right, I'm inconclusive at this moment because I can see I'm more leaning towards a breakdown to the discount area one more time. But let's take a look at the XDC chart versus the Ethereum chart to see what these individual charts suggest. Okay, on the weekly chart for Ethereum, what it looks like to me is that in the short term, we can get a breakdown into this order block here, which is about 33%. Whereas on the XDC chart, if we get a breakdown to this order block, it's about 40%. Which would mean Ethereum would outperform in the event of a breakdown of the market, which I do anticipate. Ethereum would outperform XDC slightly. But that's only a slight outperformance. It would just look like more consolidation in this area. Same thing here in the short term. We've got this falling wedge, this descending, we're making these lower highs here. But then we're making higher lows. So this looks more like a somewhat of a symmetric triangle, almost symmetric triangle, which is inherently neither bullish nor bearish. But then again, we descended into that symmetric triangle, so the likelihood of it breaking down is higher. Now let's sync this in the layout. On the daily chart, that breakdown would be negligible. It would basically just be a revisitation of the past premium, or of this level here, this previous high. And that is what I think is probably the best case scenario, is about a 17% breakdown for XDC before we move higher. Remember, we've got this huge sell order block up here on the daily, and there's no buy order blocks. So this is actually a huge consolidation area. Okay. So even if we break all the way up here, we could break all the way back down to where we find some support. So I'm going to stick to my analysis of the 4-hour chart and say I think it's likely to see about a 17% drop for XDC in the next couple weeks. But when I look at Ethereum, let's look at Ethereum on the 4-hour. Okay. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. On the 4-hour, it looks like we have more buying pressure than we do selling pressure. Oh, yeah, see? That order block just disappeared. Why? Because it's been extinguished. All of those sell orders have been filled. We definitely have more buying pressure here than we do selling pressure. What could very easily happen here is we bounce off the bottom of this order block. We hit this order block and extinguish these sell orders, and then we come down here and we have buy orders waiting, and then we take off. And once we take off, this resistance has been taken away, and so we can move higher. So when I drill down into Ethereum, Ethereum looks to me like there's support, at least in the short term, within 3%. Sorry, I'm not even looking. Are there any questions here, comments? Hey, Greg, what's up, bro? Good to see you, dog. On the daily Ethereum chart, it's more bearish. Okay, so when we break out of that move, it's more bearish. And the support is basically 15%. So what did I say for XDC? A 17% drop. For Ethereum, a 15% drop. So the story that is basically being told here is that the bearish pressure on the XDC chart is slightly higher than the bearish pressure on the Ethereum chart. And part of that is because we've just had this huge move here in XDC. XDC just did 217%. So we haven't had a move like that on the Ethereum chart. I mean, this is March, and Ethereum did 56%. This is July, and Ethereum did XDC did 217%. So the odds of XDC taking off in the near future are slim. Matter of fact, I mean, we've got this historic trend line that we're treading, and it's an uptrend. Remember, in technical analysis, when something's going up, it's got to come down. And when something's going down, you look for it to come up. I mean, that's a simplified version. But if you're bullish, when an asset that you believe in is heading downward, that's when you get excited because it's heading down to a discount zone. And the goal is to buy it at the discount. So you never want to buy something that's pumping, and you definitely don't buy it because it's pumping. All right. So the odds of us revisiting this trend line are high. Number one, we've got a buy order block down here. Number two, we're on a steep ascending broadening wedge, which is bearish. We are making a bull flag, but if we break out of this bull flag, watch for the high to be lower than this high. You heard me? Watch for the high to be lower than this high. And if we have a high that is lower than this high, that is called diminishing returns. It's the beginning of a broader breakdown and consolidation, which probably needs to happen for XDC before it moves higher. Okay, so we could have a breakout here, but if we do, it will more than likely stop shy of this high. Okay, and if it stops shy of this high, that's a downtrend. We don't have bearish divergence yet on the weekly, but the weekly looks like it's topped out. Whenever an asset tops out on the weekly, well, it could still move up for the next couple months, few months, several months actually. Yeah, we've retraced substantially on the daily. So this will confirm or deny my analysis. If we get a breakout that breaks above this high here at the top of this premium, if we make a higher high, we're in an uptrend. If we make a higher high here, I would wait for a pullback and then buy in, and it's going to go higher. But if we make a lower high, we're in a downtrend, and it's going to come down lower and catch some of these buy orders at lower levels before it can move higher. So it doesn't mean it's not bullish. It doesn't mean it can't move higher. It just means you got to watch to see, are we in an uptrend or a downtrend? Here, this is a clear uptrend. Okay? But this is the thing about uptrends. From the bottom of this uptrend to the top of this uptrend is 404%. Since December 22, less than a year, we've done 404%. So, if you were buying it back here, awesome. If you're buying it down here, awesome. But buying it after a 404% pump, it's not necessarily the most advisable move. Doesn't mean it can't go higher. It certainly can go higher. But I would look for a sizable correction. We went through the same thing with ADA a couple of years ago. And I was looking at the ADA charts, the Cardano charts, and everything else was still moving upward. But I started to feel like Cardano it just had to correct because it had had such an incredible run. There was no way to sustain it without massive correction. And sure enough, we got massive correction on ADA before we got correction on other assets. So I think there's going to be some good correction for XDC, and then it can be free to move higher. I think it can move higher. I think if you're bullish on XDC, I think XDC can have a wonderful future. But I'm looking for at least a 32% pullback from where it is right now. And that would take it just to the bottom of the trend line. If it's higher on the trend line, 25 to 32%. It's got to, I would say, in the next few weeks, maybe in the next couple of months, it's got to revisit this trend line and bounce, and then it can go higher. On the other hand, if it breaks out from here and takes a swipe at this, the higher it goes, I would start putting stop losses and profit takes because it's got to come down and revisit this trend line before it can bounce higher. So, in other words, if it goes all the way up here, now you're looking at a 50% drop, a 50% correction. And have no fear when corrections come. Corrections simply create liquidity for the next bull market, for the next bullish move. And so that's all that's happening here. Does that make sense? All right, folks, where we at? Greg, is it just you? Is it just you, buddy? Since it's just you, tell me what you want to see. What chart you want me to pull for you, bro? Or whoever's watching. If there's anybody watching, drop me a line in the chat. Let me know what chart you want me to pull. I'm going to pull one chart for the first person that asked for it, and then I'm going to sign off for the day. Anybody? Anybody? XRP. Of course, there we go. All right, I got you. Waza Lin, thank you for that. XRP. Let's take a look at this XRP chart. Let's see where we at. How I get back to my charts. Boom. All right, where's my XRP? Where my XRP chart at? All right, let's start with the weekly XRP chart. The weekly, so XRP actually looks bullish, and I'll tell you why. One, we do have to correct a bit more, probably. I mean, let's see. We had this huge move here where we did like 107% in 3 weeks. And the aftermath was a dump that exceeded the pump. We dropped 58%. So we pumped from here and we dumped to here. We dumped below the pump. But what we did was this dump was designed to hit buy orders that were waiting down here in this order block. All right. But there's still more buy orders waiting in this order block. Now on the weekly, this pullback is basically creating liquidity for a huge move up. Okay. Notice I don't see a single sell order block on the weekly chart, but all I see is a buy order block. This suggests to me that there's strong support in this area here. So the bottom of it is 20% down from where we are. That means that suggests to me that even if there's a massive correction in the market, like Bitcoin drops 50% or something, XRP most likely will not drop beneath this buy order block. There's strong support here. There's money waiting here for XRP. So the market believes that XRP is valued at no less than 41 cents. All right. So that's what I see on the weekly chart. If we drill down into the daily chart, we do have quite a lot of bearish pressure here. And the discount range. So the discount range here on the daily chart is the buy order block on the weekly chart. Okay, that's where this is here. We just have a substantial amount of bearish pressure on the daily. So the question is, okay, we've just broken bullish out of this descending channel. RSI looks bullish on the daily. RSI bottomed here, same time as the price bottomed. Made a higher low in the RSI. We made a higher low in the price. That's all good. In order for XRP to be bullish, we have to break this resistance level here. And breaking this resistance level here would take us up about 22% from where we are right now. So the question is, what is the likelihood of us breaking through here before we break down into these order blocks here? So, when I go down to the 4-hour, the buy pressure is down here. RSI topped out in the overbought position. And hidden bearish divergence here. Higher high in the RSI, lower high in the price. Hidden bearish divergence is a continuation pattern, which suggests that the downtrend will continue. Here's what I see. XRP is going to come down into this order block, up into this sell order block, down into this buy order block, and then move up. All right. So I think this downtrend has to continue for now. We can even draw the line like this. And in actuality, when we look at this whole move here, look how steep that is. We can see why we have to break down beneath this. I mean, this, we might get one more pump up, but this ascending channel is so steep, it's begging to correct. So most likely before we even hit this sell order block, we break down, we grab some liquidity from these buy orders, we break out, we hit this sell order block, and we break down again. And then we hit this buy order block, and then we can move higher. That simply explains how we get through this sell order block. And what this does is it moves us up to about 64 cents. My target would be about 64.5 cents. So if I were buying or trading XRP, I would wait for it to come down here. I would buy it at about 47 cents. And then my target would be about 64 cents. Well, on the 4 hour, so I would move the target down a little because we got a sell order block here. So 63, about 63 cents would be my target. So this move here can take us up about 32%. But it's not going to be a straight line to get there. It's not going to be a straight line to get there. Does that make sense? All right. Hope that helped. That help? All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining me today. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Everything that I do, every resource that I provide is designed to empower you to sleep in peace at night, wake in joy in the morning, and walk in love every day. Thanks so much for joining me today. Remember to check out my Patreon at patreon.com/cryptogenic. With that being said, this is Cryptogenic signing out.